Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2/4/24, faux fib. Our man Richard Pryor was talking about penitentiaries, going to visit his people, and he done said, thank God they got penitentiaries. So, we're going to go ahead on and learn ourselves something today, and it's going to be good, because we're all one race, and we're God. So, it's going to be about numbers today, the hemispheres of your brain, and protecting yourself, because we're supposed to love each other. And there's some special information in the 432 hertz realm. So we're going to describe it and discuss it, and then hopefully you, in that awareness, incorporate it. So we're moving to New Earth as fourth density aware humans, because we're special. Look at your body, look at the way it works, be thankful for everything, and learn about who you are. A part of that is going to be discussed today numerically. There are, numbers are intelligent, and vibrations are intelligent. So as you, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that show particles self-assembling on a vibrational board, and those snowflake-looking objects changing in their appearance based upon the frequency. How's that happening? How does that particle know to go fall in over here at the halftime show? Because consciousness makes it happen because of the vibration. So that's how everything started. There was the first echo and solfeggios, and if you want to get back to who you are, you have to wrap your head around all this. So I'm going to try and help. So let's get graphic. There's me. This is these stories on, being able to make these stories on Facebook is like great, because I get on there and I just psyop it. This one happens to have been on, back of an envelope. That's you there in the triangle. And this is more about, your ego and knowing who you are. I was trying to describe the Holy Trinity there because you're a part of it. There's a high self, there's you, and there's the original extension of you that's on the top, and you face Orion and worship. But that's not what this is about. I'd like to thank our Creator for allowing me to analogize this. Let's move. It is said you will know them by their symbols. This is me. It is said you will know them by their symbols. That was my company, Aspile. So, these great people. So, there's so much to be said about the 432 and that hand wave that I'm doing in the spiral that it creates. So, what I would like to do is, let's see, I'll transition to this, but I want to get to my man Kanye. Oh, so this was the, alright, I'll move here. Key your rise up shortly. So, this is the picture that'll be on the cover of this video. And although the Rockefellers got things going in roughly 1950, there is traceability back to 1880 and Rome, and the establishment of command and control standards at the 440 level. I think this was kind of fine-tuned with the A. There's a lot about music that I don't understand. But 1880, that's roughly when we hit our second bankruptcy, and they were just putting it down that, hey, this is the way you're going to do it. You want to be bankrupt, we're going to make sure it continues that way. Mind, body, and spirit. So what happens when you play music and you get sophisticated and you know what you're doing electronically with music, people? Look, this is what happens. Do you see this F troop going on here? Look at this kid. They were listening to music and they're all going nuts. And that's what happened at Astro World. From a fear, low vibe, that shot came from the moon. Kardashian was in the audience at Astro World. Travis Scott banged him out. So, this is another variation of an emotional meltdown of debasement with women, waiting to come see the band because they want to freak out. All the girls memorize the songs and they don't even know what they're singing about. These young 11-year-old girls that listening to Beyonce or whatever. And you just need to understand how beat down we have become over the years. So let's get into a little bit of Audible on frequencies. And what I'd like you to do here, for the sake of using your imagination, as this is played, as you listen to it, make believe you're sitting in the audience and a curtain is opening to a scene that you can look into. And as you examine each one, think about the emotions of what is forthcoming by listening to the music. Curtains opening and the scene is unfolding. Now, if you're not listening very carefully, you can see how it could slip by because it's only, even though it says 50, please know that it goes way back to Rome as a command and control element of the triad. The Vatican goes back 2,000 years, so if you don't think that the heirs of Peter weren't figuring this out, Benjamin Franklin had an harmonica, and people died from listening to that as he fa la la away. So just know that these tones are out there, and if you were to replay this and listen to it again, you'd hear a slight bit of trepidation is the right word for the second version at 440. Because subliminally it's saying, hey, what's coming in the next scene? So I want to add to that now with our man Kanye West and introduce another piece of music here besides 440 and 432. I'm just going to switch, and I apologize for the incomplete thought over here. It's got nothing to do with my slide. My plate. But these are chakra. So here's your crown chakra, here's your pineal gland, here's your voice coming out of your mouth, but your throat chakra is number 5 down here. And please know that the way that your ability to articulate, it's regulated by what's going on up here and the action of the completed thought then being racked and stacked through your throat to be projected. So if you're bombed, and if you're listening to 440, and you're just gone watching the news, believe you me, you'll have an opinion about it, and it will be wrong. And that's how it is. So the pineal gland, this is your third eye. This is left, right. This is the real you in the middle. And thought, you brush with toothpaste, it's Thoth is embedded organically to guard you from knowing who you are. However, there's angels that take care of this part and are wrapped up in you. You just need to be tuned in for it. That's the right side of your cranium, which would be your high self. That's the 432. That's the music. And I don't want to get too distracted on the analogies because I'm going to come back to them. But what I do want to do is talk about 808 and what I learned. Because 808 is an algorithm. And the number 8, as we've learned previously, is tied to sort of the speed of a thought. 8 bytes represent a thought. So there's a lot of symbolism. You know, our Creator and the angels, all the numbers, everything is exponential in terms of the connotation of us and the angelic support that has arranged this to bring harmony so that you know who you are. So the 3 types of algorithms in the 440 world are known as 808. And the 3 types are envelope, loop, and cut itself. And there are guys that know how to get on the electro things that I'm not going to spend much of any time showing you guys. But we'll talk about Kanye here. Isn't Kanye a special character? In the music world, in the world of politics, who he's married to, how he fits in. You know, he's probably got a church established to himself, just like Beyonce does. And he got up to, you know, get in the middle of the Emmy Awards, and he went and saw Trump, and he flipped here and he flipped there, and he's allegedly an intelligent man. And I'll tell you what, please know that the Bilderbergs and the Dark Illuminati know how your body works. So before I listen to him, we listen to him, I want to transition to a Sam the Illusionist video from very recently regarding whether or not you're in 4th density. And so rather than repeat all this, the message that we got is that they're coming after our lower 3 chakra. Okay, that's your butt, that's your attachment to the earth. But as we move to 4D, 4th density, that's what's left as your sexual organ, because everything else is transforming with ego and everything else. So that's what they're trying to retain. Your red chakra, your emotional ego chakra, and how it affects your solar plexus. So the guidance we got, of course, is to do the right things, to meditate and think about serving others. But what they are coming after with this effort is these 3 things, which are tied to our ego. The indulgence of everything. What you eat, how you feel about other people, your jealousy, your hatred, your fear, all the destabilizing things, electromagnetically speaking, are characterized in behavioral attitudes about yourself and how you feel about others. So the guidance we got is to put it all in the grave, or we're just going to lose. They'll win. So in that regard, this man is fast. He knows what's happening. I don't know if he's changed his name or whatever he's doing, but listen to what he says about, he's about to talk about 808 as an extension of 440, just so you understand that we have 7 chakra. The Bilderbergs know how we're built, and they devote themselves to the opposite of what, you know, with creator orientation and esoteric wisdom. Listen to this.
The algorithm, you know what I'm saying? The 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that meant it's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there that is fucking up your entire frequency.
Right.
And now, today, every time I hear a car come out, it's 808. But if you think about African music and hip hop and what we breakdance to, it was light.
The percussion.
It was upbeat. It was a drum.
All right, so we heard him break it down, and I cannot find
So you get
other
the idea
interview
with
where
that.
he's on Letterman talking.
Okay, so that was Kanye. Now, this is some 808 rhythm sample that's from the movie Goodfellas. So just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. You get the redundancy and there's 8 notes, and I'm telling you, I'll show you some other things about, this isn't just banging on a table. So before I get to the computerized part, I was reminded to let you know that on the, the symbolic side of the house from an angelic standpoint, the angel number 808 is a symbol of abundance. And if you look at the analogy, they've got a 0 in the middle and they're separating the twin flame. There's a separation that's going on there in the beat. So it's all relevant to trying to break you down. Break you down. That's what the game is. That's the easiest way to say it. Let me show you the electric side. Okay, so this is just one content provider that was showing us how to build these 808s with software.
So there's really 2 ways or 3 ways that you can go about placing 808s, especially if you're like a beginner. So what I have here is a grid. So the 2 main ways is off the grid and on the grid type of patterns, right? Now, you can combine those as well for your third kind of method, but I'll get to that later. So on the grid would be, let me center this a lot more. On the grid would be either the start of one of these notes and the end of one of these notes, right? So in between here, 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 and here, that is completely on the grid. And you can make 808 patterns on there, but if you want a lot of bounce in your 808 or your just beat period, you probably want to go in between.
I'm just going to jump forward.
Cut it in half. It's off the grid. You have these 5 notes, you can literally...
This isn't, this is a simple example here. There's other ones on YouTube, but these guys have total control of putting this together in an 8 octave redundant beat that's got so many audible options built into it that it's impressive, the amount of detail that can be put into this. You really don't appreciate it. Yeah, so what I wanted to do here for the last part of this is I'll play the 432 in the background. So there's tons of this music on YouTube, and I've told friends before, if you're having trouble sleeping or you're ill, any kind of sickness you have, your DNA will heal you if you want to be healed, and you incorporate this listening to your dream state, because your ears are open while you're dreaming, and if you intend healing and you follow that, it'll be good for you. So this is your head again, and the head is appearing as though it's the left side of your head is your ego. So I guess you're looking at it from behind. But the importance here, I've talked about the left side and the 440. That's your fear, that's your jealousy, that's your sexual orientation to do it for that purpose only, because it makes you feel good. And it really goes downhill from there, as far as you know where it goes, where it gets sicker and sicker and sicker. So it's just a downhill drive. And as I mentioned earlier, it's just the math works so that 8 divided by 40 is 5. So they've gone up an octave, but it turns into the number 5. And you introduce that to either, all closed-end systems, and then try and have an opinion on it, and that's what comes out of your mouth. Number 4, 432 is you're not saying anything. The Creator's doing the talking because it's eternity. It's open. I added the good old phone pad down there because this is the power of 5. This 5 here is just get it out your mouth and listen to it and make it feel good down there. This ever so slight modification of division here, right here in the middle, is designed, this power of 5, just look at that number 5 in the middle and go up and down. I put the 0 in there to show you 808, but if you took the 0 away and put another arrow going up, now you've got any one of those 3, 1, 4, 7. Rearrange those, and you've got Tesla frequencies that are tied to your body chakra that have deeper meaning about negative energy, about you or about anybody else. All these frequencies are accounted for. So by listening to this music, your high self is solving problems for you just because you got lined up when you went to sleep. And when you listen to this kind of stuff initially, if you're not awake, okay, it sounds nice, but it's something that you just have to defer to, because if you try and get ahead of it, then you feel like, hey, wait a minute, there's nobody else on the airplane, so I want some words, I want some variation to help me to have a feeling that I'm not understanding here. Well, slow down. It's dream time here. There's many other variations of this. I'm just saying as an example, as compared to what happened at Astro World, this is peace. And Astro World was, spiritual, emotional, fear-based war. So the love from heaven, because we're loved from past Orion, that we just have to open up our antenna, our crown chakra. Metatron is up here, angels are up here before it even gets to us at the 7th seal. And once you're in your body, now you're in 4th density country. Well, this is expressed as 3rd density, but we're transforming. Your breath will increase. Start practicing your breathing when you're sitting like Buddha in meditation. And power run for 10 seconds. Hard, in and out as hard as you can. Try and blow your body organs up and then relax, because you're opening up capillaries and you're pushing energy out to your skin in imagination and meditation and who you really are, because you're going to breathe forever. So get to know what it's like. Close your mouth and count your teeth and know you're breathing forever. It's going to be a long ride. Teeth take a long time to deteriorate if you care for them. Mine are on the way. You eat sugar and you do things that are going to cause problems without maintaining them, don't we know? It doesn't kill you, though. You just have to stop, turn things around, and intend to move in the right direction by how you feel. The numbers are so important. I just want to show you something real fast that I think is significant, just because you need to know. 432 divided by 3 is 144. And 144 happens to be a sacred number. There's 144 Jiffy Pop here, and once they go, that attains something. Then you times it by 1,000, whoop, and this is all us telepathy going, numerically. And the number remains important because you can divide it by a lot of different things. And divided by 4, it's 108. 108 is an important number. It's mantra counts. They just, the ascended masters, and when you do these mantras, and the reason that they have these numbers is because they revere our Creator. And when numbers got put together, they discerned that that was a peak of an amount of time to repeat a mantra to give you a time to think about it. And I'll tell you right now, 108 means a lot more than that. So I just learned about these things. They're all closed. The envelope, this is called. Isn't it funny that we live in maritime law and this was called an envelope that they design for you to be carried to your head? This is a loop. This is the redundancy of the beat. This loop is kind of like, you don't really feel a loop, do you? It's just going. This is dun 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 dun. And yeah, it's good for a while, and then you realize, man, they're doing a lot of daunting. And this one's called Cut Itself. I don't even know what that is, but you know, I can just watch these guys sliding stuff around or whatever. These makes you wonder about how these DJs do what they do, and it's a part of our humanity. You know, we are instant Viper machines, so we master everything. But if you're unaware, you're being mastered by people that are ahead of you. So this is good because this is going to be under 30 minutes, and I covered a lot of good things. You know, I'm an ascended master. I'm very imperfect, but masters serve. I'm devoted to learning this because I blow myself away, and then I try and share it with you guys because we're in this window and we're not going back. If you watch TV, if you listen to any music on the radio whatsoever, here's a good closing point that was made that I believe. As those of us who are designed to take us back down wake up, they're all over the internet right now. The Quantum Financial Assistance Program, you know, the med beds, the redistribution, Nesra Gensa and Rensa, the Iraqi dinar. There's all these. They planned a long time to get you to go, oh, this is what I need to do to stay with the program. So are those guys that are out there. A good model is, you know, what's his name? Russell Brand, the guy from the UK, nice man. He's all lit and he's all happy now. But he's the kind of guy who's going to show up on YouTube in a robe and say, I've just discovered some fantastic 432 music for you to listen to. And here's where they're going. It'll be the words. It'll be the words in the 432 music that get you where you don't want to be. And I'll tell you where it's been done already. Because I know. And you can't discern it unless you know. Patrick Leak. And he there's no blame to be had for him. He repeats what the words were back then in the dark ages when they sang. And if you discern songs, you lock in on 432 with the Cathars and where we're going. Because death is a lie. And then you get into some of these other, you know, the Latin-based reflections. And you can see the blood creeping in with the idea of the vampire in the music. And it's so similar to the other stuff that it just was there. And the next thing you know, you're putting your brother back up on the wall, number one. And number two, he's in between you and where you want to go. You know, so you got the meditative hood on your head because you're covering your face because you're ignorant, and then you're saying, hey, the blood is good. So that's what's coming with people now in And Patrick Leak is a saint. So don't get me wrong. Listen to his Cathar music. There's nobody else out there playing that. So he's there to teach us because he's reliving, he's reenacting, and his voice is of the age, Patrick Leak. So these are the guys that you should watch. You know, watch Suzanne Spooner, watch Kia Ra, watch Tamara Oviatt, join the QHHT official Dolores Cannon webpage. It's still working. Yes. Okay? Because you can learn a whole bunch of stuff there. Just find Dolores Cannon things on Facebook and start reading about other testimonies and what people are learning. Because that's how you learn. Turn off CNN. Turn off those talking heads that say the one-word induction. Look. That's all they have to say. Look. Let's focus on this. And you're focusing on it. And they sound like they know what the hell they're doing. These guys walking out of the Bilderberg meetings that look like they need an adrenochrome transplant. They've been around for a long time. Henry Kissinger, he's a pod person. That dude was rolling around in 57 before Kennedy. Kissinger was a politician. Tucked in under Nixon somewhere. Jewish descent. Ran from the Nazis. Sure he did. He ran to China and brought back the bears. And he's tied into this Rockefeller, Vatican, command control of the 440. Because he's already written the news articles for the Wall Street Journal that if it goes his way, will tell the morons 50 years from now a version of what happened with COVID that will be a testimony to Mount Rushmore of what happened. And it's bullshit. So we're living through it. The presidents that are on Mount Rushmore, hey, maybe no graffiti, but maybe some clarifying whatever it takes. You know? You want to put some square beanies up there on a couple of them? I don't know. I don't believe JFK's on there, though. I think we're going FDR. Oh, I forgot. He's got some great... Oh, I'll find my next video. The FDR footage of telling us all about where we're going and who's going to be in charge. They think they'll be in charge, but we'll be in charge. I mean, you want to talk about Ringling Brothers. Woo! FDR. Then they'll talk about, well, here are the people that influenced FDR. He was the president, so go there and have a jack-o'-lantern, because just look at him. And he's got Vannevar Bush going, oh, I think the British have the idea for how to beat the Nazis as they're getting starved out by U-boats. Oh, but we haven't focused on Britain. Vannevar Bush, MJ-12. So the ETs said, hey, here's what you need because we're beating you up. We got the U-boats. You need long-range radar. You need Raytheon. And you need IR sensing to nail the submarines. And Hitler went, whoops, pull them back. Let's go attack Germany. Russia. Through Poland and everything. Well, you've done Poland, but wah! I mean, come on. So we lived through it. Then came Bush. Lots of stuff. Then Bush, 99. Russell J. Gould saved our flag. Kim Goguen has the new money system. So we just have to get lined up with the right people. That's down here at the human, like, reach out and touch me, logical, let's go here. This guy, let us fix all this. Because that man has the right words. They're not in a song, they don't need to be. It's just the syntax of an algorithm that describes this, that we're human, that we're open, that we have rights that aren't stupid rights. Like, why would hey guys, the right to bear arms. Well, I got two of mine right here. and they're used to shake your hand. So if I'm going to bear something, it's a handshake. And if you don't understand that you don't belong on earth anymore. If you want to have a gun to kill somebody or to protect your family member, you don't belong on earth anymore, because you don't understand that death is a lie. And you have to rechange everything and trust source, that if a guy breaks in with a gun, that he's not going to shoot, because you have the guts to tell a man don't shoot. Or he tries to go crazy and the gun backfires and blows his face away. Just like the jihadi, the CIA locks up the mortar round because they put it in the system and it's his number, and he was really wanting to kill that American guy, and he pops it in there and he blows up. And then we laugh at him because he said Allah Akbar, and then he got Akbar'd right off the scene. So the madness is going back and forth, and we actually think that guy deserved what he got, because a bunch of people came into his backyard after crushing everything, and the madness of trying to defend yourself and waking up and being a man on this planet. You're either dragging your wife around by the hair, or you're pretending that you're going to defend her by going halfway around the world to kill other guys who hate women, and they're going to keep hating them when you leave. This is just so terrible. I need some toilet paper to fix this, although it's not what you think it is. Hillary was not sitting on this plate. I'm digressing. I don't even remember what it was, but I guarantee you it was not meat. You can bet your Henry Bippy that it was not meat. So, eventually we're going to be meatless. We'll be incarnated de carne. Sin carne. Sin tax y sin carne. So, aren't these words interesting? And the fact that we're supposed to stop thinking, because they do this to us. The angels do this to us. And if you think the jokes aren't waiting for you when you get holy, I got news for you. They just get funnier, because you're kind of allowed to laugh and then continue. It's kind of like making fun of yourself for knowing that you have a problem. The guy that has the fourth drink and starts to pontificate, and then in a moment of sobriety he says, if you tempt me, I'm gonna have 4 drinks. Now that's a self-aware man that probably knows he wants to go to bed after number 3. I don't need any more, because well, here I go again. Woo! We're gonna do natural and as directed, because it's going to feel good. So nature feels good, and you play with nature, and it's good. That's how it works out. The rules were made up for us. You were first density being. You, somewhere in the universe. Look out there. It's a plan. We're participating. Be an audience member to be slack-jawed, and then realize that the lights are on you, looking at you, wondering, are you awake yet? And do you even know what being awake means? Because it means one thing, but yet it means another thing. So, it's a challenge to get devoted again, knowing that it's going to pay off. See, because when you were getting devoted so that you could live to age 80 and still be able to get around and feel good, that was kind of one thing that paid off. But when you learn that, and even if you turn the corner already and you think it's too late, that's because you think so. So I'm advising you that William is going to live forever. You will never see me in a coffin. Never. I promise. My word. My word. It's my bond that we were told it's time because of who we are. It's time. So I'm a first waver in terms of living through the storyboard. 59 is late for first wave, so I don't necessarily self-identify with any of the waves of volunteers that have come since 50, but we all are. We're all star seeds. It's just that we all come from different places. To be here for this and get dropped into the middle of a role, to then be made aware of who you were walking amongst. And in the past month, I've told you some stories about the guys that I worked with. I don't feel any differently about any of them. You know, when I'll just say it, when I remember Boykin. I know Boykin. I just know him. I briefed him and I teased him. He didn't know he was being teased directly because he stank up an airplane during a mission with his body vessel. And everybody was choking out trying to talk on the radio. So during the following night's briefing, I included it as a requirement for the intelligence crowd to know when, where, and in what strength. And it was him. And Garrison didn't know what the hell I was talking about because he hadn't been pre-briefed, and he was, you know, what would he know about that, I guess? You throw popcorn, you know, you throw peanut shells on the ground in Texas, so you think you'd know about it at some point. So Boykin ascended. He became Bush's advisor for national security because this was about the organization that was formed in order to monitor what was going on over there, because they're smart. They changed their name, they got science, they got math, they got cell phones, and they compete with what they got, along with what they're given, using their, you know, dark web. They speak a language you don't speak. So they replicated how to build bombs and how to go blow up highways, and they were waiting, and they're still, you know. So what good does that do anybody? Now you've got jungles full of booby traps, and you've got roads full of IEDs. And what have you done for humanity? All by proxy managed leaders that are the guys that put that stuff in place, because they're the ones that get told to, okay, go demine everything, and let's go. Let's have the projected infrastructure that we need to get back into the place to go figure out how we can do it the next time with the recovery. See, here's Jared Kushner now. He's got $3 billion, and we want to go invest, because he's got RFID in the economies, which are the harvested humans of your favorite places, Africa, India, you know, anybody not him. Humor must be had. So this was too long now, and I just want to remember that love is the trigger. I drew a couple of hearts on this plate. I'm going to turn this off, staring at this. I drew a few hearts on this plate because our Creator loves us and you. So it's coming in from here. Love is down here at number 4 below the 5. It's your beating heart. And it was put in as an organ with 4 ventricles so that you could relearn that feeling turns everything around. And it's tied to your high self, which is the right side of your brain.